what subject should you focus on? So tignan natin, ano ba yung composition natin? So on the first Sunday, you have Poly and International Law, which is 15%. And then in the afternoon, you have Labor Law and Social Legislation, which is 10%. And then on the second Sunday, you have Civil Law, which is 15%. And then Taxation in the afternoon, which is 10%. I know, tax was like, going into the bar exam, I was like, tax was my worst subject in law school, no? Because it involves numbers, okay? So I really was not expecting much from my grade, no, in the bar exam. But you know what? I aced tax. No, tax is my highest grade in the bar exam. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So on the third Sunday, of course, you have Merc Law, that's 15% also, and Crim Law, which is 10% in the afternoon. And then the last Sunday, of course, Remedial Law. This is the killer, no? 20%. And then in the afternoon, you have Legal Ethics and Practical Exercises, 5%. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so what did that show us? It showed us that morning subjects are always the ones with heavier weight rather than the afternoon subjects or the subjects assigned in the afternoon, no? And siguro ang naisip ng Supreme Court when they did the schedule a long time ago, no? Naisip nga nila na morning we're all fresh, energy level is still high and everything, no? So kaya kailangan yung weight your subjects in the morning, no? So you may also want to do your review that way, no? So and then of course you also already know that Remedial Law has the heaviest weight, so it can really pull your grade up or pull it down, no? And your performance will contribute significantly to whether you pass the bar exam or not, no? Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so evaluate your performance in the bar subjects that I showed you, no, in law school, no. So tignan nyo, how did you do in your civil law subjects? How are you in poly, no, and in international law, both public and private, no, etc., etc. So doon magkakaroon ng basis yung pag-gauge natin, yung least confident to most confident, na medyo magiging scientific kasi mahirap naman yung I feel so confident pero hindi naman pala mataas yung grade mo dun sa subject na yon. Of course, I understand you, no. You may be thinking, no, but because the professor does not really give high grades, or that particular professor or that particular semester, I would have done really well, but it's just that, I got sick during the final examination, etc., etc. Now, all those factors considered, no, have some basis, no, for doing your schedule and saying that these are the subjects I'm weakest in, so I will give them priority in my review. Okay, all right, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so look back while looking forward, no. So these are screenshots, no, of what you can look at, no, if you want to review examination questions in previous bar examinations. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So what do I mean by look back while looking forward? It means understanding the nature and format of the bar examination questions, no? So no better way than to actually, experience it, so to speak, by, looking at the examination questions in past bar exams and then trying to answer them if you want, no? But actually looking at how questions are framed. And syempre, subukan mo na rin, how do you prepare an answer to those questions, no? So, and then test yourself and then see how you fare, no? So look for patterns also and trends and repetitions. A good percentage of questions is repeated year after year with only slight modifications. Why is that, no? Although meron tayong chairpersons, they vet all the questions. No, bakit ganyan? Kasi yung law naman natin, mostly, no, except for the few new legislation. But you see, like, civil code has been there for a long time, no? And also our revised penal code, no? So kaya may mga questions talaga dyan na uulit ng uulit because those are the important concepts, those are the important provisions, no? Na every bar examination, you can reasonably predict na lalabas at lalabas yan, no? All right, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the bar tests more than mere memory and understanding, no? It mainly tests application. And what is that? That is your ability to analyze legal problems and to apply relevant laws and jurisprudence to those problems, no? So ano pala to, no? Kasi ako, sabi nila, very good yung memory ko, no? I will admit that yung memory ko, parang sponge yan. Pero short term lang, no? So if I read something like today, I will remember it like siguro mga for this week, no? Pero next week, ask me about it, I would have forgotten probably half of it. Ganun yung memory ko, no? So kaya ako, I don't want to rely on my memory, and that is my advice to all of you, no? There are certain things we have to memorize siguro, pero mas gusto ko na intindihan nyo, no? Iyon ang mas reliable, yung naintindihan nyo. Kasi yun, kahit biglang may startling occurrence, no? Kahit na rest gestate tayo, matatandaan pa rin natin if we understand it, rather than if you memorize it and then you forget one word or two words, nawawala na lahat ng kasunod, no? So please, no, laging sinasabi sa atin sa jurisprudence ng Supreme Court yan, ang memory natin is so unreliable, okay? And then always refer to the bar syllabus also issued by the Supreme Court while you're studying, di ba? So you just concentrate on the subjects that are covered and do not waste time on the matters that are outside the scope of the syllabus, okay? Let's go to the next slide, please. So don't go crazy worrying about who the examiners are. Earlier, before we started, no, Attorney Professor Dicky Salazar and I and Diego, we were discussing this, and I said, Professor Dicky, during your bar exam, were you guarding sino yung examiners nyo? Sabi niya, no, hindi uso yan ng time namin. Ako din, hindi yan, well, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't care, no? Kasi parang ang my reasoning is, kahit sino pa yung examiner ko, hindi naman mababago yung law na inaaral ko, right? No? So that should also go for you, no? Kasi parang ano yan, distraction din yan sa iyo. It could also be a wild goose chase, no? Kasi hindi naman kayo sigurado, you will spin your hopes na sabi nila si ganito ang bar examiner kasi nag-leave siya from teaching, hindi siya nagtuturo ngayon. So what will you do? You will read the ponentias of that particular justice, no, or a book that justice has authored, no. So mahirap 'yon. Tapos it turns out hindi pala siya yung reviewer or yung examiner ninyo, no. So do not ignore those rumors. They will just increase your anxiety, no. Whoever the examiners are, they will still ask you about the same laws I mentioned which you are studying. And when you're reviewing, some questions will pop up while you are studying or reading something, no? Do not be pressured if you do not know the answer, okay? So, for example, you're using a review, no? A reviewer, no? And then you come to a point where there's a question that you cannot answer. Do not panic and do not, all of a sudden set aside everything trying to look for the answer, no? What you do is just you continue, but you mark that point. And then later on, pag natapos mo na yung assigned subject matter mo na yun, tsaka mo hanapin yung sagot doon. In fact, if you continue reading, that answer might just come to you, no, through your reading without you having to waste time, no, looking for it in a particular manner, okay? Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is what I call study hard, study smart, no? So, kasi minsan study hard tayo, lagi sasabihin sa atin, no, ay nako, I spent, I slept at 5 a.m. because I studied for Merck or for commercial law. Pero did we study smart? Diba? Yun ang point Like, if you're studying now, will you remember the things you're reading now for the bar next year in November? Diba? Yun ang tatanungin mo sa sarili mo, diba? Kaya yun ang tinatawag kong study smart, no? If you think something is really important, no, have a notebook, no, and write those things down if you feel that you have the time. But if not, like me, what I used to do was, yun lang, I write on the margins of my book or whatever that material I'm reading, my photocopies or whatever, and then I put all these tags, no, these flags, no, so I know where to go back if I want to read it again. No, not that I'll have time to read it again, but just in case, I'm confronted with a question, I know where to look for the answer, okay? So write those questions that you do not know the answer to in a notebook, and then answer them only after finishing your review. And more often than not, I mentioned this already, you will find the answers without wasting time. Okay, so are there 5-star provisions or legal concepts that I should focus on? Yan, tinatanong din sa akin. Eto ang sagot ko. The code, yung kung ano yung law na nung particular subject na yon is your holy book. Like for example, in Rev, no, the rules of court should be your holy book. I'm sorry to use that phrase, no. I do not mean it in any negative way. It's just that should be the thing that you base everything on, no. Ako like nung pre-week wala na akong hawak, no, code na lang. That is not telling you na sobrang ready ko na kaya code na lang hawak ko, no. Pero sabi ko, hindi ko, kung kahit pilitin ko yung sarili ko na i-absorb pa itong mga materials na to, 1 week na lang yung natitira, hindi ko nakakayanin. Kaya sabi ko, I will go back to the basics. Ito naman talaga. So yun ang pinanghawakan ko, no? So always go back to your code. Kaya you will, until now, I keep my old codes, no? Yung civil code ko na luma, yung RPC ko na luma. Nako, you will see na hiwa-hiwalay na sila, and you will see all the tags and the labels and the colorings, no? And that is what you need to do, because doing that, I was able to master talaga, no? Na-master ko yung law, na-master ko yung provisions, not mastery in the way that I memorized them, no? But alam ko exactly what I needed, no? And where to look for it, where it was found, no? So, ang sabi ko dito, memorize only can't do without provisions, no? So, like for example, meron tayong mga basic provisions sa Article 3 Bill of Rights, di ba? So yung right against unreasonable searches and seizures. So kahit yun, no? Even not the whole thing, but the first few lines of it, no? Kung kaya nyo, no? Commit some of them to your memory, no? Like for example, also, ano ba yung mga grounds for a motion to quash? Alin doon yung hindi na waive sa Crim Pro? No? Those are things that we have to know by heart, okay? So yung mga bagay na yon, we have to commit to memory. It's unavoidable, okay?